What a day for 18-year-old Evan Ferguson. 10 Premier League goals now. He's up to double figures. His first senior hat-trick, the fourth youngest to do it in Premier League history. And those 3 goals, all part of that 3-1 victory over Newcastle. Here is the young Irishman on his memorable and historical day.
Evan, that's a big win against a big team. How does it feel?
Yeah, good. Very good. We knew it was going to be a tough game, and listen, we got the 3 points in the end. Good game overall.
I see you just walk off with a match ball. Have you put it somewhere safe? How does it feel to get your first senior hat-trick?
Yeah, obviously delighted. Wasn't especially in a league like this against a team like that, you know what I mean? Like they're Champions League this year, but I think it's in the dressing room. Someone's probably punctured it or something right now.
Your first one owed a lot to quick reactions. The third one, there was a little slice of luck, maybe. Tell me about the second one, though. You seem to be celebrating before it hit the net.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of them when you're in the moment and you know when you catch it clean and sort of caught the keeper wrong-footed and it went in, yeah.
How special does this manager make you feel when you step onto that pitch?
Yeah, very good. I think he makes everyone feel a certain way because we're all certain we know what we're doing out on the pitch, so there's no doubts going into the game. So we all have full belief that we can go out and do and get 3 points. Sort of a bit of bite back into, you know what I mean? It's like trying not to get a bit sloppy, but I think today we bounced back and done well.
And you've now, in the 9 months under this manager, you've already beaten Chelsea, United, Liverpool, now Newcastle here at home. How far can this team go?
I'm not sure. It's hard to say. It's going to be a long season, but obviously the draw came out yesterday for the Europa League, so we could see where we can go.
Evan, fourth youngest Premier League hat-trick. Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, he will certainly remember that. Yeah. 3 hat-tricks today. He's in good company with Erling Haaland and Son. First time, actually. There have been 3 hat-tricks in the Premier League on the same day since September 1995. Robbie Fowler that day, Tony Yeboah and...
Me.
Can't remember the last one. You got that many, they all roll into one. How will he, in all seriousness, how will he be? What a special day at 80.
He won't sleep well tonight, but for a good way, because he'll be going through every single touch and all 3 of his goals. It doesn't matter that the third one took a little bit of a deflection, because the first 2 were brilliant. I mean, terrible defending from Newcastle, but that doesn't matter one bit to him. He'll never ever forget this day. It'll be in his mind for the rest of his life, and should be. He's a special talent already. I can tell just with his movement and his technique and his touch and his understanding of the game. So yeah, he'll be on a high tonight and for the next few days. But he deserves it. He's a really, really special talent, you can tell.
And aside for the errors that we're going to talk about for that first goal from Newcastle, was it a reactive sort of instinct position from him, from a centre-forward's point of view?
Yeah, it was. We said it before the game. It's going to be a really interesting battle because Eddie Howe chose to play Dan Burn at centre-half rather than at left-back and not bring in Lascelles. And we said before the game it's going to be an interesting battle because Ferguson is a really good player and clever, intelligent, despite his young age. He won that battle hands down today because Dan Burn didn't know what to do with him, didn't know how to deal with him, because he didn't know whether to go tight, didn't know whether to drop off. And in the end, he dropped off and Ferguson absolutely punished him. And he punished the goalkeeper here for a mistake. I mean, it was a terrible goal. So many errors from Newcastle in one move. Another error there from Tonali. Another error there from Nick Pope. But he's still got to be there. He's still got to finish it off. And it was really clever positioning from him. You've always got to be alive and alert, waiting for someone to make an error. And he certainly was.
The midfielder's role there.
Yeah. I mean, just mistakes after mistake. Whether Pope, Tonali, Trippier. The one thing you'd say about Brighton is look how many bodies they commit forward. They put you under so much pressure, so then it's hard to defend all those bodies around you. But I think the big difference, obviously Ferguson's there. It's hard to defend all those blue shirts, but I thought mistakes was the big issue for this Newcastle team. They rarely made any last season. They did amazing to get into the Champions League. Today, the mistakes were adding up all over the pitch.
The midfield area, Newcastle looked really poor. They were flat. The 3 of them in midfield were flat. They had no depth. They had no protection. You can see Bruno there. And there's the 3 of them. Once Bruno makes a decision to go in for the tackle, look what he leaves behind. Because we mentioned Dan Burn. He hasn't got a clue what to do. He doesn't know whether to go tight. In the end, he drops off. And he's just inviting Ferguson to have a shot. There's no pressure on the ball or on the man at all. So go on, you're free, go on, have a shot. He did that, Pope wasn't ready for it, and he got the goal he deserved. But really poor from a Newcastle point of view. Their midfield, as I said, were all over the place today.
It's rare you see a young kid shoot like that, with such composure, isn't it, Al? He almost passes into net. A lot of young kids are trying to snatch at everything, smash it. That's a composed finish, kind of curls it around. Brilliant finish.
Yeah. And he'll take the luck for the third one, won't he?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
To get the hat-trick.
In 5 years' time, people were talking about his hat-trick as an 18-year-old against Newcastle. No one will mention that he got a little bit of luck in that third goal. He won't give a damn whether it took a deflection.
He almost earned it today, didn't he?
You make your own luck, absolutely. Yeah. He did. If there was one person that deserved it today, it was him. Not only for the other 2 goals, but for his work rate and his effort and his understanding of the game and giving Dan Burn a torrid time.
Not that you'd be horrible enough, but you've analysed it. It was definitely going in on target. So.
No, it was. And the thing I like about him is all the goals are different. There weren't just tap-ins there. So the second one is a little bit deeper. It's a good finish. The first one, he's just there where he needs to be. And obviously the third one is a different one with his left foot, obviously, which is going to go on target. So I think he can be delighted with his body of work. But this is the problem Brighton give you. All these players popping up in these little positions. Great little touch, gets it out of his feet. And I think when you give these players time and space, like Newcastle did again, we highlighted the midfield 3 on the 2-0. You can't be flat, Steve, because one pass beats everyone. And that midfield 3 were flat all game. Dan Burn drops off. He's not sure, do I go, do I stay? And credit Ferguson, because he realised, didn't he? He never really went with him. He always dropped off. And I think De Zerbi mentioned that. He needs to be a 10 in the build-up, but a 9 finishing.
Yeah, and also 2-footed. You can tell he looked comfortable going either way, left foot or right foot, which is a nightmare for a defender also, because if you're strong on both, then that's a huge advantage to you.
Brilliant. And I'm sure there's a few more of those to follow in his career, but the first one will be very special. And as I say, a teenager in the Premier League era to get a hat-trick is a special achievement. He is the 4th youngest in the Premier League era ever to do so. He's in good company as well. Right. Michael Owen, he did it a few times. Robbie Fowler, the late Chris Bart-Williams. And as I say, he's on there 18 and 318 days. However, we have been digging into the archives pre-Premier League as well. English top-flight history. Question, Owen, who do you think has got the youngest ever hat-trick in English top-flight history?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the boss.
He was asking us when the game was on, but we weren't biting.
We had no idea.
I was going back into the 60s.
I thought you'd forgotten all about it.
No.
I was thinking, no, they've just dumped me. They've not even mentioned that. I said, who was the youngest ever to score hat-trick in top flight?
17?
You just blanked me, the both of you. But little did I know you were doing your homework.
Well, over the years you've mentioned it once or twice, Alan, that was all. I might have heard it along the line. But for those viewers who haven't, it was for your full debut for Southampton.
It was back in 1988, 17-year-old, yeah. Didn't know I was playing till lunchtime of the game, so I didn't really have any time to get nervous, and went out. I think I broke Jimmy Greaves' record. I think he was the youngest before me, so it wasn't a bad record. I never scored again that season, though, unfortunately.
Did you not?
But you got a new contract, what, a few days later?
I got a new contract 4 days later, absolutely, so it was a good week.
Yeah, and the next question, how many more hat-tricks after that did you get in your career?
I think it was 12 in the Premier League, was it?
In all comps?
1 for England. Not sure of how many.
16.
16, was it? Okay.
You'll need a new house for all those balls.
I've still got them all.
All 16 of them?
Still got them all, yeah, all of them.
Where are they?
They're actually in storage at the minute, but I've still got them all.
Don't tell Newcastle fans
they're being delivered next month.
The Shearer Museum. Yeah. OK, well done to Evan Ferguson for his first. Newcastle did get one back at the end. It proved a mere consolation for Callum Wilson.
Yeah, he looked good, to be fair, when he came on. I mean, he has a lot of work to do here, by the way. Running the channel, the touch. I like this ball. Just help it around. Callum Wilson, these types where they want to run onto these things. I like it. It's a really good goal, Al.
It's a really clever finish. You just watch the outside of the right foot here, the balance. It's clever. He sort of guides it in. But, he would have been really angry with the manager, because he's not started again, didn't start the last game, and has come on. So, but when you're winning games, the manager can say, okay, no, I'm going to give someone else the chance, or keep on going with the team I've got. Now that he's come on and now that he's scored, he's got every right to go and bang on the manager's door and say, hang on a minute, play me next game. You have to play me next game. And that's exactly what he should be doing, because other than him, I think they were all over the place. No one could have come off that pitch with any credit other than him in a Newcastle shirt. So he's got every right to go and bang on the manager's door and insist, play me, start me the next game.
Well, it's interesting because Matt Holland said in commentary, I think he got 14 and 18. You know, when you score in that amount of goals, you'd like to think you're going to get a chance to start a game.
OK, talking of managers, we will hope to get a quick reaction when we come back. Tough start for Newcastle, played 4, now lost 3 against some big opposition, including today 3-1 against Brighton. Let's get Eddie Howe's thoughts.
Eddie started really well. You had 2 big chances in 3 minutes, and then it started getting more and more difficult.
Yeah, I think we did start really well, and those chances are key when you come here, because you know that Brighton are a very good team, and we had momentum in the early stages. I didn't think there was a lot in the game today. I know 3-0 or 3-1's not a great scoreline for us, but we sort of created our own problems, I think, with the first goal, and that's always key in the game.
And there was a big chance. We'd just gone 2-0 down, big chance for Anthony Gordon. You know, you did get a goal late in the game. Had Gordon tucked that away, things might have been different.
Yeah, I think it was a tale very similar to last week, where we had chances to extend our lead. We didn't, and today we had chances to score before we did. We didn't take them, and we're just in one of those moments where those things are going against us, and at this level, sometimes you can get punished the other way, and that's what happened.
Obviously, this group of 3 games is really difficult. You're playing against 3 very, very good sides, but really disappointing to have lost them all in different ways, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, when you reflect back on the start of the season, we knew when the fixture list came out this was an incredibly difficult start for us, but a massive win in the first one. A very tight game against Manchester City. In my opinion, we should have beaten Liverpool, but didn't, and that's probably the result that really hurts us now, because this is always going to be a tough game today.
It looked like Fabian Schär had a real muscle problem towards the end of the game there. Obviously, there's an international break coming up, which might give you an opportunity to work on him, but Botman's injured, and that's not something you could do with, really.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone is after the game. I've come straight to see you, so fingers crossed he's okay.
What are your thoughts when you look at this start now? 3 points from 4 games. I mean, it leaves you adrift, clearly, and the expectations, the ambitions of the club are very different from what they were 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, that's the reality of what we're dealing with this season. We knew it was a totally different season to last year. The expectations go up, the demands go up. It's been a disappointing start in terms of results, but I can't fault the effort of the players. I thought we did keep going to the end, highlighted by Callum's goal, and I think at the moment we have to stick with those positives.
All right, Eddie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, it is early days and expectations have risen. Are you sticking with positives? 3 defeats in those 4 difficult games?
Yeah, there are concerns. You have to find a way when you haven't been winning games. There hasn't been many times throughout Eddie's reign at Newcastle that you look at a game and you say, we deserve to be beaten today, and they were the better team. Today was one of them. So Newcastle have had a really good run of form leading into this season. They had a really good start against Aston Villa. It was always going to be really tough against City and Liverpool. But I agree with Eddie in terms of last week against Liverpool. You don't take your chances, you get punished, and that's exactly what happened. But I'd also be slightly concerned in the way the midfield folded in the last 20 minutes against Liverpool last weekend, and how the midfield looked today. They looked really poor. That was a big strength of theirs against Aston Villa when we highlighted Tonali and Bruno and Joe Linton. Last weekend for 20 minutes it didn't work, and for 90 minutes it didn't work today. So that's probably what they're going to be looking at during the next 2 weeks. It'll be a long 2 weeks for them, but they've got 3 winnable games next. They've got Brentford, Burnley and Sheffield United, the next 3 league games. They're key. They've got to get back on track. No panic, no huge criticism. They got beat today. And
thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. It's a big day for Evan Ferguson. We'll see you soon.